Hi, this is Tiffany, and I'm going to do a quick video for you about Pampered Chef's knives. So what you see here is our new forged cutlery. This is the example of the bread knife, and this is our color-coded, and that's coated with a T, not D, bread knife, so that you can see the difference in the two of them. So I did a party last night and we had a loaf of bread, and so I just whipped out my forged cutlery knife and cut up the bread, and then later on throughout the party they wanted to cut some more, so they grabbed my color-coded one out of my tool turnabout to compare. And I didn't even say anything. They were comparing amongst themselves. So the weight is completely different on a forged knife than it is on the color-coded knives. So let me explain a little bit about the manufacturing process. This is a forged piece of cutlery. So any Games of Thrones friends out there, you know that when you forge, you heat and hammer. All right, that's a little throw out to Gentry as he makes swords for the realm. But they heat and hammer the metal over and over. I've been told up to 50 times to get the molecules really nice and condensed to make this really strong. Now this is German steel, so let me see if I can zoom in on that so you can see that German steel. It's a full tang knife, so the knife goes all the way through. They've added metal right here to make it bolstered, and then that helps with the weight. So the weight is evenly distributed from the midpoint to the end, and then also the same from the midpoint to this end. Okay, the handle is made of paca wood, so that's a difference in our previous forged cutlery. I'm going to talk about that in a second. And they've changed the handle a little bit so that you can see all the way through. This used to be covered, and it just has a really pretty design. So definitely a lot goes into the manufacturing of this knife. Excuse my kitty cat as it looks out the window. With the stamped knife, the manufacturing process is slightly different with a stamped knife. They roll the metal out, they cut the shape of it, and then they put the handle on. So much different manufacturing process, which is reflected in the price. So I call our color-coded very economical knives, great for a starter kitchen, great for like a second kitchen. Maybe you have a mobile home or an RV that you're putting stuff in. If you were to leave this at a potluck, you could go back tomorrow. It'd be all right. You left this one, you would cry, and you would run back and get it immediately, okay? So there's just a difference in the manufacturing, which is reflected in the price tag. I definitely suggest that if you're ready to make an investment in knives, that you go ahead and invest in the forged cutlery. You will not be dissatisfied. They do have a lifetime guarantee on these knives. Stamped knives, our color-coded has a 1-year warranty. So again, the difference is reflected in the price there. And most people, when they want to go ahead and make this investment, will host their own party so that they can get these knives either free, half price, or with their host discount. So that's a little bit about the difference in the stamped and the forged. Now I just want to compare real quick the new chef's knife to our old chef's knife. Now, before you go and naysay about, Pampered Chef redoing something, let's just remember that you would not buy a car model that has been the same for 10 years. That's the example that has been given to us, and I definitely agree. So, a car model changes every year. Our previous forged cutlery has been out for 10 years, and it was time for a redesign. So the shape of the blade is pretty the same. This is our chef's knife here. Some differences you're going to notice is the angled bolster right here. All right, so that's a little bit different. It's definitely nicer when you feel it in your hand, and that's definitely something you're going to have to feel yourself. The handle construction is a little different. Like I showed you, that you can't see that it's full tang, but it is, like you can see to this one. The handle is a different material. This is the paca wood, and that's spelled P-A-K-K-A. And then another thing I wanted to show you was where the PC logo is. This is for a chef's knife. Now I'm going to switch my camera here, so sorry for the jiggle. with the chef's knife, the PC logo is here. As you see, the serrated bread one does not. But this is to remind you to put your fingers like this so that when you use your chef's knife, you're holding it correctly. Okay, so see how I'm knuckling up on that? And that's how you hold a chef's knife. So I like how they did that as your reminder. And then, you know, the blades are pretty similar. This one has been tested to maintain its sharpness 40% longer than our previous version. We do sell a honing tool that comes with the knife block set, so you can hone your knives. There is a difference between honing and sharpening. Honing brings your knife back into alignment because, you know, we are pampered, not perfect. So when we use a knife, we don't put the same tension on it. I live with a lefty, so he puts different pressure on it than I put on my knife, being a right-handed person. So when you hone a knife, you're bringing it back into alignment. When you sharpen a knife, you actually are creating a new blade, okay? So that's the difference. That's why we say hone regularly, sharpen every few years. I want to say with my collection that's 10 years old, I have only sharpened them 3 times. Okay, so on average every 3 years. Locally here in Virginia Beach, Farm Fresh sharpens for free, so you can get to know your butcher in the butcher's department and just take your knife back there. Do not run through the store holding a knife like this. They come with protective cases, and if you don't have the knife block to store them in yet, you need to put the case on there. We also have a local man that his name is Max the Knife. Throw out there to Max, and he comes to our local farmers markets and sharpens by the inch. He's also been known to come to my house and do a bunch of knives at the same time for multiple people. So that's how you'll take care of sharpening your knives. I know there's other places that sharpen, but you're just absolutely going to love the new knives. I'll set that one aside so that you can kind of look at the chef's knife, and then that's the bread knife. Just for example, there, the new forged cutlery. It's beautiful. You definitely want to make an investment in this. You will not be disappointed at all. So I thank you for listening to my video on our cutlery. I hope that helps you in your cutlery decision, whether it's the color-coded knives or it's the new forged cutlery, the recently redesigned. You're absolutely going to love either thing you choose, but definitely if you're ready for the investment, go forged. Talk to you soon. Thanks.